Under the first blush of morning sun, the tyrant's fangs and claws hold court over life and death. Across the golden sea of grass stretching to every horizon, prey thrashes in the grip of despair. Yet the slaughter on land is merely a prelude. In the fathomless depths of the ocean, the true nightmare stirs and awakens. Welcome to WildVerse, where we explore the most extraordinary stories of the natural world. Dawn breaks over the African savannah. The first rays of sunlight drape the parched earth in a fragile veil of gold, warming the dust that has lain cold through the long night. Nothing stirs, nothing speaks. The grassland holds its breath. Yet that silence is a lie, a deadly, calculated lie. Beneath the thorny acacia canopy, a lioness lies pressed against the warm earth, motionless. Her amber eyes are wide open, scanning the vast grassland with the deliberate patience of an apex predator who has learned that stillness kills more surely than speed. Every pair of eyes in the pride settles on the same point, a dark grey silhouette several hundred feet away, where a near-adult black rhinoceros stands alone, lowering its massive head to browse the low-hanging leaves. The young rhino weighs approximately 2,000 pounds, its hide nearly 2 inches thick, its front horn already rising close to 1 foot. It is large enough and armed enough to give any predator pause. It is making a fatal mistake, standing more than 100 feet from its mother, far beyond the protective reach of her horn and her fury. The lead lioness lowers her body into the grass until her belly touches the warm earth. Another splits to the flanks, circling upwind to avoid detection. The strategy has taken shape. The confrontation between giants does not unfold only on the African savannah. Far beyond the horizon, across the most expansive ocean on the planet, where sunlight cannot penetrate and pressure crushes steel, even larger creatures wage a silent war in eternal darkness. When the largest creatures on Earth collide on land or beneath the sea, does brute strength always prevail? Or is it the quiet art of adaptation that ultimately decides who survives? The answer begins here, on the golden, sun-baked savannah, where lions are advancing toward the rhinoceros, and it will end at the deepest, darkest place on the entire planet. The lead lioness has closed to under 50 feet. Muscle coils beneath short fur, 400 pounds compressed like a loaded spring. Another has completed the flanking arc. From 3 directions, they inch forward, bellies pressed to the earth, ears pinned flat. The young rhino still has its head lowered, its upper lip curled the distinctive prehensile lip of the black rhinoceros, entirely different from the flat, wide mouth of the white rhino, stripping clusters of low leaves. It sees nothing, Its vision is a blur of shapes and shadows. The black rhinoceros possesses, among the worst eyesight of any large mammal in Africa, a vulnerability that evolution has compensated for in other ways. Its ears rotate constantly, sweeping every direction. Hearing and smell, two senses that evolution has honed over millions of years, begin firing. Its nostrils catch an unfamiliar scent on the wind. The lead lioness explodes from the grass. Two others launch upward at the same instant, forming a lethal pincer from 3 directions. The nearest lioness leaps aside just in time, claws raking empty air. The second is not so fortunate. The rhino horn catches her square in the flank, hurling her violently to the right. The entire attack collapses in fewer than 15 seconds. The pride scatters and retreats into the tall grass. The opportunity is gone, and it will not return today. The mother rhino stands between her calf and the enemy, heaving, small eyes sweeping the field. Her hide measures up to 2 inches thick, a natural armor that the 600 to 1,000 psi bite force of a lion cannot penetrate. In the first week after birth, the mother rhino conceals her calf deep in dense brush, never straying more than half a step from its side. That ferocious protective instinct endures for the rest of her life. Unlike the white rhinoceros, where the calf walks ahead of the mother, the black rhino calf always follows behind, its footsteps falling precisely into its mother's tracks. A defensive formation refined over millions of years. The black rhinoceros once roamed freely across Africa. Now only approximately 6,788 individuals remain on the entire continent, critically endangered, the highest tier of threat. The rhino horn, the prize that poachers willingly kill to claim, is nothing but keratin, the same protein that forms human fingernails. It holds no medicinal value whatsoever. On this savanna, the rhino horn is not for trade. It is a weapon, a shield, a mother's oath that her offspring will survive. This morning, that oath was kept. Along the open clearings between thorn trees, scattered mounds of dung middens serve as the chemical communication hub of the black rhinoceros. Each pile is a bulletin board, a boundary marker, and a personal signature rolled into one. They kick their dung apart with powerful hind legs to disperse the scent over a wide area, marking territory and sending detailed messages to distant rivals without ever needing to meet face to face. The lions have retreated, melting back into the tall grass. The mother rhino has won this morning's battle. With a daytime hunting success rate of only 17 to 23%, failure is a daily reality, an unavoidable cost of the predator's trade. From the golden savanna looking east, where the sun has just crested the horizon, the great rivers of Africa empty into the Indian Ocean, carrying sediment, minerals, and the ancient story of the land. Yet the Pacific is the true origin of this pulse. A massive body of warm water is forced through the Indonesian through-flow, the suffocating gateway between two worlds, flooding into the Indian Ocean. From there, that immense energy crosses thousands of miles, feeding the raging Agulhas current slamming into the historic cliffs of the Cape of Good Hope. "70% of the globe lies beneath water, and reigning at its center is the most enormous ocean of all. Nearly 64 million square miles, 10 times the landmass of Russia, swallowing 1/3 of the planet's surface, the Pacific Ocean. A name that means peaceful, yet it stands as nature's greatest paradox. For hidden beneath those tranquil waters lies the epicenter of fury, the ring of fire, and the deepest trenches on Earth. Spring arrives. The surface waters warm, gradually, degree by degree. Life awakens layer by layer, from the shallowest coral gardens to the deepest hunting grounds, from sea turtle to shark, from jellyfish to whale. "25,000 islands scattered across the surface, like emeralds flung upon blue silk. Polynesia, Melanesia, Micronesia. Fragments of volcanic land rising from an endless blue expanse. Challenger Deep sits at the very bottom of the Mariana Trench, 35,800 feet below sea level, the deepest known point on the planet, a place where no ray of light has ever reached. Hundreds of thousands of invertebrate species thriving in every crevice and current. Approximately 80 species of marine mammals patrolling its depths. Hundreds of species of seabirds riding its winds. An ecosystem unmatched anywhere on Earth. And here, in this liquid wilderness, order is established by teeth. Beneath the crystal-clear spring waters, a dark shape moves with unhurried precision. A torpedo-shaped body stretching over 16 feet, weighing up to 4,500 pounds. Cold black eyes set in a pale, scarred head. The great white shark. Armed with approximately 300 serrated triangular teeth, arranged in multiple rows, this jaw operates like a conveyor belt of death. The front row tears into prey and falls away, while the row behind slides forward to take its place. A perpetual biological weapons factory that never runs dry. Possessing an estimated bite force of up to 4,000 psi. Yet the true devastation lies in the combination of that crushing pressure and a jaw bristling with serrated triangular teeth. It does not merely gnaw, it is a cutting and tearing machine, effortlessly crushing bone, ripping through the thick blubber of seals, and inflicting irreversible catastrophic blood loss. A field of vision spanning nearly 360 degrees, leaving only two small blind spots directly ahead of the blunt snout and directly behind the broad, flat head. In murky water, the lateral line, a pressure sensing system running along the body, detects movement from up to 330 feet away. Nothing escapes it. The hunting strategy of the great white is a masterclass in cold patience. It cruises far below the surface, in dark water, where its grey-black body blends seamlessly with the ocean floor, invisible, waiting, calculating. When prey drifts directly above a seal A sea lion, it launches vertically at an estimated 25 to 35 miles per hour. An ambush from below. No warning, no chance. At times, the great white launches with such explosive force that its entire body erupts from the water, 4,000 pounds airborne. A breathtaking moment where raw predatory power collides head-on with gravity. The greatest enemy of the great white shark is neither its prey nor any natural predator in the ocean. It is its own kind. When two great whites converge at the same hunting ground, the contest begins with body language, circling slowly, each sizing up the other. A snout thrust upward, a display of dominance, an arched back, the final warning, a gaping mouth revealing hundreds of teeth, a threat that needs no sound. If neither yields, blood will spill. Bites exchanged between two great whites leave deep, ragged scars across the body, sometimes severing entire fins, sometimes ending the confrontation in death. On the savannah, lions compete with claws and fangs. Beneath the ocean, sharks compete with jaws and teeth. Different rules. Same outcome only, the strongest hold territory. Not every creature in the Pacific is a hunter. Some survive by fleeing, and they flee for an entire lifetime. The hawksbill turtle, an amber-toned carapace streaked with dark brown, a sharply hooked beak built for precision, a flattened body designed to slice through water, glides over the coral reef on clawed flippers with effortless grace. Its shell stretches up to 3 feet, a mobile suit of armor. Yet, against the great white, or the tiger shark, two apex hunters, prowling the reef, that shell is merely a test for jaw strength, not a barrier. The hawksbill is a philopatric species absolutely faithful to the beach where it was born. They cross more than 1,500 miles of open ocean to return. Guided by the Earth's magnetic field and a genetic memory encoded over millions of years, they locate the exact stretch of sand where they first emerged from warm grains decades earlier. During breeding season, the mother turtle crawls ashore to lay eggs. Before digging the nest, she performs a sophisticated deception, false crawls, crawling up and turning back repeatedly, leaving decoy tracks to mislead predators. Each nest holds 140 to 200 eggs, 3 to 5 clutches per season, spaced 2 weeks apart, 60 days of incubation beneath warm sand. Fewer than 1 in 1,000 hatchlings survive to adulthood. Seabirds, crabs, fish, lizards all wait on the sand when the eggs hatch. The hawksbill is critically endangered. Its population has declined by more than 80% over just 3 generations. Shells trafficked on the black market. Meat harvested for food. Nesting beaches destroyed by coastal development. This turtle does not merely flee to survive. It performs a far greater service. It keeps the coral reef itself alive. Hawksbills feed on sponges, organisms that compete directly with coral for living space. Without hawksbills, sponges spread unchecked, coral slowly dies, the ecosystem collapses. A single amber-shelled turtle, silent and unassuming, is keeping an entire ocean breathing. The hawksbill is not the only creature that plunges into the ocean depths. Something 100 times larger waits below where sunlight is nothing but a memory. Summer settles over the Pacific. The surface layer bakes under a merciless tropical sun, but several thousand feet below, temperatures plummet to near freezing, and perpetual night swallows everything. From that twilight zone, a massive dark form rises from the deep, a squared head, a grey body, a horizontal tail, as wide as two men's outstretched arms. The sperm whale, the largest toothed predator on the planet. Males weigh up to 100,000 pounds, stretching over 60 feet in length. Each tooth weighs up to 2.2 pounds. They consume thousands of pounds of food every day, and their preferred prey dwells where no other creature dares to venture. The sperm whale dives deep, 7,300 feet, nearly a mile and a half straight down, remaining there for over an hour without drawing a single breath. To achieve this, its body carries myoglobin concentrations many times greater than land mammals, a protein that stores oxygen within muscle, allowing function long after the lungs have emptied. The heart slows to just a few beats per minute. Blood is redirected to the brain and vital organs. In total darkness, at a depth of 3,000 feet, where not a single photon of light survives, eyes become useless. The sperm whale does not need them. It emits a rapid series of acoustic pulses, continuous clicks at an intensity of 230 to 236 decibels. The loudest biological sound on Earth, louder than a jet engine at close range, powerful enough to disorient and stun small prey in the surrounding water. Sound waves bounce back, rendering a three-dimensional map of the surrounding world, every rock ledge, every current, every tentacle reaching out through the darkness. A target emerges, giant squid. Tentacles stretching dozens of feet, suckers the size of bottle caps, eyes as large as dinner plates, the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, the hunter of the abyss. The sperm whale approaches in absolute silence. No clicks, no sonar pulses, only the sheer mass of muscle and the cover of impenetrable darkness. The first bite severs two tentacles. The squid retaliates, spraying jet black ink, remaining tentacles wrapping around its attacker's head. Suckers rake across the skin, leaving circular scars that will mark the sperm whale for life. Battle in the abyss never ends without leaving its evidence. Bite force and body weight determine the outcome. The sperm whale crushes its prey, swallowing it piece by piece, then begins its ascent toward the surface. Rising after the battle, the sperm whale lies motionless on the surface for 5 to 15 minutes. Lungs fill with oxygen, skin bears fresh scars, proof of the encounter on the ocean floor. Then something defying all expectation occurs. It sleeps, vertically, head pointed toward the sky, tail dangling toward the deep, motionless as a statue, suspended in the middle of the ocean. Sperm whales spend only about 7% of each day sleeping 10 to 15 minutes at a time, less than any land mammal on Earth. Sperm whales do not live in solitude for their entire lives, at least not all of them. The bonds of family in this species run deeper than in most land-dwelling creatures. Females and calves gather into matrilineal groups, approximately 20 individuals in warm tropical waters. They communicate through codas, rhythmic sequences of clicks, unique to each family, like a dialect spoken by no one else. Each group possesses a sound code system that no other group replicates exactly. When one mother dives deep to feed, other females take turns guarding the calves at the surface, a nursery system that few marine mammals can match. Gestation lasts 14 to 16 months. A newborn calf weighs approximately 1,100 pounds at birth. And they nurse for 42 months, 3.5 years of bonding, before the ocean demands independence. Males leave the group between the ages of 6 and 10. They migrate toward the poles, where colder waters hold richer feeding grounds. From then on, most of their lives are spent in solitude, drifting alone across the boundless ocean, returning to the tropics only when the mating season calls. The sperm whale, despite its enormity, despite diving the deepest, despite producing the most powerful sound, is not the most dangerous creature in the Pacific. That title belongs to another species, one that hunts with the collective power of the pack mind. The killer whale, orca. That name is no exaggeration, it is earned. With every hunt, males reach up to 22 feet long, weighing 12,000 pounds. A dorsal fin stands upright like a blade cutting through the surface. Teeth stretching 4 inches, 2 jaws interlocking like steel pliers. Every bite carries the weight and velocity of the ocean's supreme predator. The true weapon of the killer whale does not reside in its jaws. It lies inside the skull, a brain weighing 12 to 15 pounds, one of the most complex in the animal kingdom. Today, the target is the single largest creature that has ever existed on the planet, larger than any dinosaur that ever walked the earth. The blue whale. The orca pod has detected it from miles away, drifting slowly. The hunt does not begin with speed. It begins with cold, methodical calculation. The lead orca accelerates, flanking the blue whale on both sides. They bite into pectoral fins and tail flukes, not to kill, but to slow. Relay exhaustion, a strategy of rotating pursuit. When the first group tires, the next takes over. The blue whale does not get a single second of rest. The largest orca swims above, pressing the blue whale deeper, preventing it from surfacing to breathe. Every stolen breath is one step closer to collapse. More orcas from other pods converge up to 70 individuals, merging into a megagroup. 70 brains coordinating, 70 sets of jaws, one single target. They attack the spiracle, the blowhole, on the crown of the head. They tear at the tongue, the most energy-rich organ. The hunt stretches on for hours, sometimes half a day. The blue whale stops swimming. Its flippers hang limp, exhausted beyond recovery. No resistance remains. The orcas leap from the surface, slap their tails, wave their fins, a victory ritual after the kill. They tear the carcass apart, sharing portions according to social hierarchy. From a distance, a grey shadow approaches. The great white shark, an opportunistic scavenger, arrives to collect the leftovers. It keeps a safe distance. Too close to the orca pod is suicide. Even the supreme predator must yield before the pack. Beneath this ocean, size does not determine the victor. Collective intelligence defeats individual strength. That is the law that 500 pounds of food per day for a single male orca has proven. Yet not every battle in the Pacific belongs to the massive. Sometimes the most lethal weapons come in the smallest packages. Approximately 660 feet below the surface, among submerged rocks draped in kelp, a creature lies so still it ceases to exist. The giant Pacific octopus, 40 to 110 pounds, an arm span reaching up to 14 feet. What is frightening is not the size. Millions of chromatophores, pigment cells, blanket its skin, along with papillae and iridophores, allowing it to shift color and skin texture in an instant. One moment it is seaweed. The next, it is rock. It is anything it chooses to become. And then, without warning, it is a killer. Ambush is an art form, lying motionless for hours, blending seamlessly into the rocky substrate, 8 arms with suckers that can taste and grip, waiting for the moment prey wanders close enough. When the target enters range, a massive web of tentacles unfurls instantly, sealing off every escape route. At the center of that siege sits the chitin beak, the only rigid structure on the body capable of crushing crustacean shells with ease. The instant the bite penetrates, saliva, laced with neurotoxin, floods directly into the bloodstream, shutting down the entire central nervous system. From the moment of the strike to total paralysis, the countdown is measured in seconds. No rigid skeleton means no limitations. The octopus can squeeze through any gap larger than its beak. Escape or infiltration, if the beak fits through, the entire body follows. When cornered, it ejects a cloud of jet black ink, an ink cloud containing compounds that scramble the attacker's senses. If that is still not enough autotomy, it severs one of its own arms. The severed arm continues to wriggle for minutes, capturing the full attention of the predator. Meanwhile, the octopus vanishes into the reef without a trace. The sacrificed arm will regenerate completely within a few months, a small price for survival. This morning, its target is a blue surgeonfish, 10 to 12 inches, a body of vivid electric blue, tail blazing yellow. But this small fish is no easy prey. Concealed on each side of the tail base are razor-sharp venomous spines with a spring-loaded mechanism that snaps open like a switchblade. They are not merely a flawless defensive tool, but the lethal weapon that earns this species its iconic name, the surgeonfish. When the octopus unfurls its arms, the blue surgeonfish raises its spines, one slash into a sucker venom that triggers searing pain and severe inflammation. The octopus releases its grip, arms recoiling. A 12-inch fish has just defeated a predator weighing 110 pounds. Size, once again, does not decide the outcome in this ocean. Blue surgeonfish are strictly active by day, feeding and socializing in sunlit waters before retreating deep into coral crevices when darkness falls. They feed on algae, controlling excessive algae growth on the coral reef, giving coral the space to breathe and flourish, a small role that nothing else can replace. From the lightless abyss, where sperm whales battle giant squid, to the sun-drenched rocky reef, where octopuses ambush surgeonfish, the Pacific Ocean never lacks a battlefield. The most brutal confrontations do not always unfold underwater. Some erupt where ocean meets land on beaches stained red with blood every breeding season. Before stepping onto those blood-soaked sands, the Pacific conceals one more chapter unfolding right at the surface layer, where autumn sunlight pierces the crystal-clear water. A pod of bottlenose dolphins, hundreds strong slices, through the surface like silver arrows, reaching up to 8.2 feet in length, with streamlined bodies and the distinctive rounded snout. They belong to the same family Delphinidae as the killer whale, same bloodline, same intelligence. But the path of evolution has forked into two entirely different directions. The orca wields intelligence for slaughter. The bottlenose dolphin wields intelligence for cooperation. Two branches of the same evolutionary tree, diverging into shadow and light. Below are dolphins. On both sides are dolphins. Above is air, where fish cannot escape. A living wall closing in from every direction. Tails slap the tail hammers down onto the water. Shock waves ripple outward. Fish are stunned, disoriented. The dolphins surge in, mouths agape, 70 teeth snapping shut. Another group employs a different tactic, herding fish into shallow water near shore. There, prey loses the advantage of depth, and the hunt concludes far more efficiently. Hunting solo, a dolphin can chase squid at 20 to 22 miles per hour faster than any Olympic swimmer in history has ever dreamed of reaching. The most remarkable quality of bottlenose dolphins is not how they hunt, it is how they sleep. Unihemispheric sleep, the pinnacle of vigilance. To avoid drowning or becoming prey for sharks, they permit only one half of the brain to rest at a time. The other half maintains absolute alertness. One eye slowly closes, but the eye on the opposite side remains wide open, piercing the ocean with cold vigilance, a flawless state of suspension between the boundary of waking and sleeping. The body continues to swim, the lungs continue to breathe, the sonar continues to scan. The ocean offers no bed, no shelter. Evolution has forged a creature that has never truly experienced deep, unbroken sleep. When not hunting, not resting, they play, riding the tall autumn swells, somersaulting through the air, then crashing down in columns of white spray, blowing circular bubbles, then watching them rise, shimmering beneath the sunlight. Tossing seaweed to one another, like children playing catch, shoving each other out of a current, then circling back. Games with no reward, except pure joy. From groups of a few dozen to herds of thousands in the open ocean, bottlenose dolphins build complex societies with hierarchies, alliances, and disputes. High intelligence demands recreation, a trait that in the animal kingdom only a handful of species possess. Autumn descends. The wind shifts direction. Water temperatures fall degree by degree, and a call more primal than any language older than memory itself resonates from the deep, pulling the largest creatures away from the open sea, back toward the shore. Grey sand beaches along the eastern Pacific stretch for miles. Waves crash in steady rhythm. Wind carries the scent of salt. Onshore, hundreds of enormous bodies lie packed together, motionless, beneath the pale autumn sun. Northern elephant seals. The marine mammal bearing the most extreme sexual dimorphism males weigh 3 to 6 times more than females. "90% of their lives are spent in the open ocean, diving, eating, down to 1,000 to 3,000 feet every day. The most elite individuals reach the 5,000-foot mark, where pressure crushes everything, not engineered to endure it. Each dive lasts an average of 13 to 25 minutes beneath the crushing weight of the deep. The record stands at more than 2 hours without drawing a single breath. At those depths, light is a distant memory. Elephant seals rely on vibrissa hypersensitive whiskers to detect the faintest vibrations in the water. Eyes perfectly adapted to darkness provide an additional edge. Between fish and squid, their daily fare, they dive up and down dozens of times each day without pause. A feeding machine that never powers down. Autumn is the hinge between life and death, the final period of fat accumulation before the call of breeding drags them ashore. On the ocean floor, a tireless sweep for food unfolds, without pause. The blubber layer thickens inch by inch, transforming the body not only into a vast energy reserve, but forging a formidable biological suit of armor, all in preparation for the bloodbaths about to erupt on the sand. When the breeding season calls, they must come ashore, and on land, the laws of the open sea no longer apply. The alpha male has claimed the beach early. The proboscis, the distinctive inflatable nose that reaches full development between the ages of 8 and 9, swells like a balloon. It raises its head, opens its mouth, and bellows. The roar carries hundreds of feet. It is not an invitation. It is a declaration of war. This stretch of sand is his territory. These females are his harem, and any challenger who dares set flipper on this beach will pay the price in blood. From the surf line, a challenger emerges, lighter by several hundred pounds, old scars crisscrossing its neck, proboscis inflating in defiance. Two roars collide over the sand, two oaths of refusal to yield. The space between them shrinks inch by inch. They charge. Thousands of pounds of collision chest, slamming chest. The sound like boulders crashing down. The ground trembles beneath the weight. Jaws clamp around the rival's neck, twist, wrench. The hide is thick, but the canines drive deeper. Blood pools across the grey sand. No rest, no concession. Every slam, every bite, carries the weight of thousands of pounds of muscle, blubber, and the will to exist. The battle is all or nothing. The victorious male breeds with dozens, sometimes hundreds of females in a single season. The loser forfeits everything. Several minutes pass, feeling like eternity. The smaller male exhausts first. He retreats, proboscis deflating the sign of surrender. He turns away, dragging his heavy, wounded body toward the crashing surf, leaving a dark trail of blood stretching across the grey sand behind him. Out there, beneath the leaden surface, the dark shapes of killer whales have appeared. A wounded seal, slow-moving, blood scent spreading through the water, a beckoning signal that needs no broadcast. On the sand, the victorious male bellows. Females gather dozens, then hundreds. Mating takes place right on the bloodstained sand. The strongest genes are passed forward to the next generation. A brutal, yet remarkably efficient law of nature. Many defeated males do not survive the season-infected wounds, blood loss, or becoming a meal for orcas offshore. The cost of failure here is life itself. When the breeding season draws to a close, elephant seals undergo a catastrophic molt skin and fur peeling away in large patches, exposing the raw new skin beneath. For weeks, they lie motionless, on shore, waiting for the new skin to mature. The old skin sloughs off, carrying with it the memory of the ocean's salt, algae, scars. The new skin gleams smooth and unmarked, as though the violence of the breeding season never happened. A fresh beginning, but only until the next season calls them back to war. In the 19th century, this species was hunted to the brink of extinction. Meat, blubber, hide, everything fetched a price on the market. Today, more than 150,000 individuals roam the Pacific waters, from a mere 20 survivors to 150,000. When humans finally stayed their hand, nature quietly rewrote the story from the brink. The autumn wind grows colder with each passing day. The beach empties gradually, one hulking body after another sliding back into the waves. The massive creatures return to the sea, leaving scars on the sand and on their own flesh. The ocean remains wider than every continent, deeper than the tallest mountain peak stands high, holding more stories than humanity has ever been told. Across the boundless surface, a broad shadow glides past unhurried, graceful, like a living carpet woven of cartilage and muscle. The oceanic manta ray, weighing over 5,000 pounds, a wingspan of 26 to 29 feet, a creature whose enormity is matched only by its gentleness. Each week, it consumes up to 13% of its body weight simply by filtering water through its cavernous mouth. No fangs, no venom, no aggression, only absolute tenderness in a world built on violence. It must swim continuously to breathe RAM. Ventilation water flows across the gills to deliver oxygen. To stop is to suffocate, an entire lifetime spent in perpetual motion. Black above when viewed from overhead, white below when seen from beneath, countershading the most classic camouflage in the ocean. On the white belly, dark spots form a pattern as unique as a human fingerprint. No two manta rays share the same markings, allowing marine scientists to identify and track each individual across vast stretches of ocean. Gentle with every creature, including humans, manta rays swim alongside divers without the slightest hesitation. The only great being that needs no one to fear it. In the violent symphony of the Pacific, the manta ray is the rest note proof that strength sometimes resides in tranquility, not in aggression. The Pacific Ocean is vast enough to hold all life on Earth within its waters. The only question that remains, whether the most intelligent species on this planet is wise enough to share it. From the golden savanna, where lions confront rhinoceros, to the abyss, where sperm whales crush giant squid. From the 300 teeth of the great white shark, to the tiny spine of the blue surgeonfish. From the collective intelligence of the orcapod, to the art of concealment of the solitary octopus. From the chaotic bait ball of dolphins, to the blood-soaked battleground of elephant seals, and finally to the gentle wings of the manta ray, gliding past without harming a single living soul. Brute strength does not always prevail. Strategy, intelligence, adaptation, those are the true rewards that evolution grants the survivor. The fittest are not always the strongest. They are the wisest. The question posed at dawn on the African savannah strength or adaptation now has its answer. Both. It is always both. Somewhere on the African savannah, the autumn dusk is fading. The pride of lions settles into the golden grass, amber eyes closing. The black rhinoceros stands guard beside her calf, horn pointed toward the encroaching darkness. Tomorrow, dawn will break again over these ancient plains. The clash of giants will resume, as it has for millions of years. Life, stubborn, fierce, beyond all human imagination, will carry on. Thank you for journeying with WildVerse. From the African Savannah to the abyss of the Pacific Ocean, the natural world still holds countless stories waiting to be told. We will see you on the next expedition. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, this is the perfect moment. Every species carries within it a story, and WildVerse will continue telling those stories. Along the banks of a river winding through the sun-baked plains, 4 golden shapes lie motionless in the tall grass. 4 lionesses, amber eyes half closed against the glare, yet never truly asleep. The African lion. Their roar carries 5 miles, a primordial sound that tears through the silence of the savannah. But today, the lionesses do not roar. Today, they wait. Beneath the silt-clouded water, another hunter is also waiting, more patient, more cold-blooded, and older by many millions of years. The Nile crocodile, one of Africa's most dangerous predators, over 16 feet long, weighing in excess of 1,000 pounds, with a bite force reaching 3,700 psi, nearly 6 times that of a lion. They have existed virtually unchanged for 80 million years. When the dinosaurs vanished, the crocodile remained. A lioness steps to the water's edge. The pride's cubs need to drink, and the riverbank is the border between 2 empires. The surface ripples. 2 yellow eyes emerge, less than 10 feet from shore. The lioness freezes. She drops her shoulders, snarling, but does not retreat. The crocodile lunges ashore, its armored body exploding from the water like a living torpedo. On land, they can reach short bursts of roughly 11 miles per hour. But on solid ground, the advantage shifts to the lions. The lioness sidesteps, claws raking across the crocodile's armored snout. 2 other lionesses charge in a combat formation, assembling in a heartbeat. Three against 1. The lionesses encircle, growling, driving the crocodile back toward the water. This is coordinated warfare, the same skill that brings down Cape buffalo 10 times their weight. The crocodile retreats, not out of fear, but calculation. On land, this is not its fight. The riverbank falls quiet again, but both sides know this boundary will be contested tomorrow and the day after, until the river runs dry. The African lion, the only big cat on Earth that lives in a social structure. A typical pride consists of 4 to 12 adult females, 1 to 3 males, and their young. "85 to 90% of all hunts are carried out by the females. They coordinate like a military unit, flanking, cornering, striking. Group hunting success reaches roughly 30%. The male lion, with a dark, thick mane signaling high testosterone and superior fitness, weighs up to 550 pounds. But his primary role is not hunting. It is defending territory. They sleep 16 to 20 hours a day, conserving every drop of energy for the moments that decide survival. The lion's kingdom is shrinking. Only 6 to 10% of their historic range remains. 22,000 to 25,000 wild individuals, that is all that is left of a species that once ruled all of Africa. With a top speed of 50 miles per hour sustained for only a few hundred feet, the lion is not the fastest predator on the savannah. They rule through collective cunning, through the power of unity. But elsewhere on this planet, there exists a land where even lions, with all their strength and coordination, could not survive. Where the enemy is not crocodiles or hyenas, but the very ground beneath their feet. Where temperatures plunge to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, where winter stretches 8 months long, where sunlight vanishes and the cold becomes an uncrowned tyrant. Welcome to WildVerse, where we explore the most remarkable stories the natural world has to offer. From the African savannah to the frozen reaches of Alaska, this is the story of two kingdoms, one war, and creatures that have evolved over millions of years to claim dominance at opposite extremes of the Earth. In that land, at the far edge of the north, who rules? And what weapons do they wield when everything around them is trying to kill them? The answer lies in Alaska, the greatest wilderness in the United States, where the struggle for survival unfolds in every moment without pause. Denali National Park, over 6 million acres of pristine wilderness stretching across the heart of Alaska, one of the largest protected areas in North America, where the hand of humanity has scarcely left its mark. At its center, Denali rises to 20,310 feet, the tallest peak in North America, draped in year-round snow, standing like a silent sentinel over the wild. "39 species of mammals and over 165 bird species share this land, each one a warrior, forged through thousands of generations to endure the cold. From taiga forests carpeting the valley floors to wind-scoured tundra on the heights, from summer marshlands to silent fields of permafrost, Denali holds a remarkable array of ecosystems within a single territory. Winter here lasts 8 months. Temperatures touch minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, a threshold where metal turns brittle and breath freezes before it hits the ground. Yet this is not a dead land. This is a land of those who refuse to yield. The brief summer erupts with urgency. 20 hours of daylight each day transform the frozen tundra into a carpet of wildflowers. Insects swarm, migratory birds pour in from every latitude, and every creature begins its race against time. Because in Alaska, summer is not a season of rest. Summer is the season of preparation for the war called winter. And in that war, the best prepared is not the strongest, but the most intelligent. Deep in the taiga, where streams trickle through thick carpets of moss, a strange sound rings out the crack of timber, rhythmic and steady, like the hammer of an invisible carpenter. The American beaver, the largest rodent in North America. Over 3 feet long, weighing up to 65 pounds, they are the most accomplished engineers that evolution has ever produced. Orange-yellow incisors, reinforced with iron in the enamel, grow throughout their lives and never go dull. They fell an aspen 8 inches in diameter in under 5 minutes. But the beaver is no destroyer. It is an architect. Every log, every branch, every handful of mud is placed with precision. A single beaver dam can stretch hundreds of feet, blocking a stream and transforming a narrow valley into a broad pond. That pond is not merely a home, it is a fortress, a pantry, and an entirely new ecosystem born from the hands of a rodent. The lodge sits in the center of the pond, accessible only through concealed underwater entrances. Wolves cannot reach it, bears cannot break through its mud and timber walls. A defensive design without weakness, honed over millions of years. Inside the lodge, temperatures remain above freezing, even in the depths of the harshest winter. A beaver family huddles together inside throughout winter, parents alongside offspring from 2 recent breeding seasons. They share space, share food, and share the duty of maintaining the dam. Every crack must be patched immediately because a leak means dropping water levels, exposed entrances, and vulnerability to attack. Beavers repair their dams through the night, working without rest. This is the only animal besides humans capable of reshaping landscapes on a scale visible from space by satellite. The beaver's greatest achievement, however, is not the dam itself, it is what they accidentally create. As water rises, wetlands form, fish find breeding grounds, frogs and salamanders colonize the shallows, waterfowl flock in to nest. An entire ecosystem emerges from the work of a rodent weighing less than 70 pounds. Scientists call them ecosystem engineers. Few species on Earth can transform a landscape the way beavers do. Before winter, beavers shift into stockpiling mode. They sink dozens of branches to the bottom of the pond, an underwater pantry from which they dive to retrieve food all winter, beneath the ice. The flat, broad tail shaped like a paddle is more than a rudder for swimming. When danger is detected, a beaver slaps its tail on the water, producing a gunshot-like crack that sends the family diving deep. In a land where brute muscle decides everything, the beaver prevails through architectural genius. No fangs, no long claws, no speed. But they build, and that is enough to survive through millions of winters. In the natural world, whoever reshapes the environment to suit its own needs holds the truest form of power. Yet not every creature in Alaska can construct its own fortress. Some must rely on a different instinct, the instinct of the opportunist, one who finds a meal anywhere at any time. The American black bear, smaller, lighter, and chronically underestimated beside its grizzly cousin. But that very humility is its most potent weapon. An adult male weighs 200 to 400 pounds, less than half a coastal grizzly. A straight face, tall pointed ears, and no shoulder hump characteristic of the grizzly. What the black bear possesses, however, is something few species can match: a nose 7 times more sensitive than a bloodhound's, capable of detecting food from several miles downwind through forest and fog. And it eats nearly everything: berries, roots, grubs, insects, fish, ground squirrels, carrion, and honey, raided from wild hives. The black bear is the perfect definition of an opportunist on the Alaskan frontier. Short, curved claws, roughly 2 inches long and sharply hooked, are not designed for combat or digging. They are precision climbing tools, built to grip bark and haul 400 pounds of bear straight up a trunk. This is the black bear's ace of survival. When confronted by a grizzly, the true sovereign of the Alaskan forest, the black bear does not fight. It runs, and it climbs. The grizzly, with its long, straight claws and massive frame, cannot climb trees. The black bear knows this and turns every trunk into an escape route. Humility is not weakness. In a land ruled by the most formidable terrestrial predator in North America, knowing precisely when to flee is the highest and most ancient art of survival. When autumn arrives, a primal urge awakens in every black bear: hyperphagia. They eat without stopping, storing thousands of calories each day to prepare for 7 to 8 months of hibernation. An adult black bear can gain over 100 pounds in just a few autumn weeks, transforming its body into a living energy reserve. Each autumn day grows shorter, each night longer. When the first snow falls, the black bear must already be ready, or it will never wake again. Inside the hibernation den, a biological miracle unfolds. The female gives birth in sleep cubs the size of a fist, blind, nursing in complete darkness until spring calls them into the light. Their hearts slow from a normal 50 beats per minute to just 8. Body temperature drops by several degrees. Metabolism plummets. The body shifts into a profound conservation mode, a torpor stretching through nearly the entire Alaskan winter. The black bear is not the most powerful creature in the taiga, but it is the most adaptable, and in Alaska, that is what truly matters. But deep within the open tundra, where the taiga gives way to grasslands stretching to the horizon, another presence is listening. One that never hunts alone, but hunts as a pack. The prey it targets is the biggest animal walking the Alaskan land. The gray wolf, the most sophisticated social predator on mainland Alaska. Not as powerful as the grizzly, not as swift as the lynx, but possessing something no other species can match: collective warfare. A Denali wolf pack typically numbers 4 to 8 adults, though some packs swell to 30 during years of abundant prey. Each member holds a defined tactical role: scout, flanker, attacker, or sentinel. The alpha is not the strongest. The alpha is the decision maker, commanding through gaze, through posture, through a single sharp bark that reshapes an entire formation in an instant. The Denali wolfpack's territory spans 200 to 800 square miles, a domain the size of a city, patrolled around the clock and defended with blood. An adult male weighs approximately 105 pounds, far lighter than its primary prey. But a wolf pack needs no individual strength when it has organizational power. The gray wolf's olfactory system, equipped with roughly 300 million scent receptors, detects prey from several miles away, even through deep snow, frozen ground, and a fierce headwind. Ears swivel independently through nearly 180 degrees, pinpointing sound with remarkable accuracy. They detect the faint crunch of moose hooves on frozen snow from distances where human eyes perceive only white. But what makes the gray wolf most formidable on the tundra is not its senses, it is its intelligence. They do not merely kill, they select. Wolf eyes scan a moose herd, identifying the weakest individual, the old, the sick, the calf that has strayed. This is not cruelty. This is ecology in its purest form. Selective predation that removes the weakest, the diseased, and the genetically compromised, to safeguard the health and resilience of the entire population. Ecologists call the gray wolf the physician of the ecosystem, the force that has kept Denali in balance since the dawn of time. The hunt begins with patience. The pack stalks, moving in a crescent formation, gradually maneuvering the prey into a disadvantage. When the alpha gives the signal a single piercing bark or a surge forward, the pack erupts as one. They fan out across the snow, cutting every escape route, forcing the prey to turn and stand its ground. In deep snow, where a moose struggles with every step, the wolf holds a decisive anatomical edge. Narrow paws distribute weight efficiently, letting wolves glide across the crust while their prey sinks to its chest. Not every hunt succeeds. Most end in failure. A moose can kill a wolf with a single kick, and they often do. But the pack does not abandon the hunt. They regroup, assess what went wrong, refine their approach, and circle back to try again, sometimes within hours, sometimes the following day. In a land where winter kills more than all predators combined, the pack's coordination is not merely a tactic, it is a philosophy of existence. When darkness falls and howls rise over the frozen tundra, it is not the sound of loneliness, it is the call of an army, and every creature within miles takes notice. Each howl is answered. Each member confirms its position. The Alaskan night belongs to the gray wolf, and everything knows it. The gray wolf is more than a predator. It is a master communicator employing over 10 distinct howl types, combined with complex body language to relay information within the pack. A tilt of the alpha's head can halt an entire hunt. A flick of the tail can shift the whole pack into alert mode. They read one another as precisely as soldiers read orders from a commander. But the prey the wolves crave most, the giant that wanders the taiga, does not surrender easily. To bring it down, even a full pack must wager its lives. The moose, the largest deer species on the planet. An adult bull weighs up to 1,500 pounds, stands over 6 feet at the shoulder, bearing antlers spanning 6 feet, a bone shield weighing 40 pounds. Standing in the taiga, the moose looks like a creature from a prehistoric epoch, and in a sense, it is exactly that. Its ancestors walked this very land alongside woolly mammoths during the last ice age. Despite its enormous size, the moose can run 35 miles per hour and swim across wide rivers without hesitation. Those long, slender legs, deceptively fragile, conceal the power to crush a wolf's skull. Autumn, the mating season, transforms these quiet giants into frenzied warriors. Two bulls charge each other, antler crashing against antler, the sound reverberating through the valley like rolling thunder. The contest can last for hours. The loser must leave carrying wounds that may take weeks to heal. The victor earns the right to mate with the entire herd of cows. This is not a battle for honor. This is a battle waged at the genetic level for the right to pass one's bloodline into the next generation of a species that has endured since the Pleistocene. When winter descends, moose face their most brutal challenge. Snow several feet deep turns every step into agony. They use heavy antlers to scrape through snow for food, frozen lichen buried beneath. The The bulls shed their antlers shortly after the rut, casting off their primary defensive weapon at precisely the most perilous time of year, when wolves are hungriest and snow is deepest. Winter does not play favorites. And this is precisely when the grey wolf strikes. The moose, exhausted from the rut, stripped of antlers, slowed by snow, becomes the perfect target for a hungry pack. On the frozen tundra, the chase between wolf and moose is the most iconic confrontation in Alaskan nature. Raw power against coordinated strategy, the solitary giant against the pack. Neither side always wins, but both know every encounter is a wager of life and death. And while the battle on land rages without end, beneath the Alaskan sea, an entirely different world is stirring. There, dominion is not measured by fangs or claws, but by song. What unfolds beneath those dark waters will change how we think about the intelligence of the ocean. Each summer, as the Alaskan seas grow warmer beneath the long northern light, enormous dark shapes materialize from the south. They have traveled more than 5,000 miles, one of the longest migrations of any mammal on Earth. The humpback whale, 40 tons of muscle, bone, and blubber, stretching up to 50 feet. Its pectoral fins, the longest of any whale, spread like the wings of an underwater aircraft. They leave the warm tropical waters where they breed and give birth in shallow, sheltered bays, and journey thousands of miles to Alaska for one reason alone: food. Alaskan waters in summer host the richest feast in the ocean. Plankton blooms trigger billions of herring and sardines to gather into living clouds beneath the surface. And the humpback whale possesses a hunting technique no other species on the planet has mastered: bubble net feeding. Four to 20 whales coordinate with stunning precision. One dives deep, begins swimming in circles, and exhales a spiraling curtain of bubbles from below. The rising bubbles form a shimmering wall, trapping thousands of fish inside. The others swim in a tightening spiral, constricting the net. The fish panic, compressing into a tight ball. Then all surge upward at once, mouths agape, each whale engulfing thousands of liters of water and fish in a single lunge. "3,000 pounds of food per day. That is what a single humpback needs to store enough fat for the southward migration, where it will eat almost nothing at all. The most spectacular aspect of bubble net feeding is not the brute size of its participants or the tonnage of fish consumed. It is the sophisticated neural coordination behind the strategy. Bubble net feeding is not instinct. It is a learned behavior transmitted across generations through observation and imitation. Scientists call this cultural transmission. The mother whale teaches her calf. The calf mimics, fails, tries again. Sometimes it takes several summers to master. This is not reflex, this is education. And then there is the song. Underwater, sound travels at roughly 4,900 feet per second, nearly 5 times faster than in air. The humpback whale has seized upon this acoustic advantage and transformed it into a genuine art form. Male humpbacks produce complex sound sequences lasting 20 minutes, transmitted hundreds of miles beneath the surface. Each population has its own song, and the song changes every year. The most remarkable detail, every male in the same population sings the same song. When one alters the melody, the others gradually follow. The song evolves slowly, steadily, like a living language. No one knows precisely why they sing. Perhaps to attract mates, perhaps to mark territory, or perhaps, as some researchers believe, it is simply an expression of emotion. In the vastness of the ocean, a 40-ton creature raises its voice in song, and hundreds of miles away, another listens. If that does not make us pause and reflect on the cognitive depth of the ocean, perhaps nothing can. The humpback whale was once hunted to the brink of extinction, but since the whaling ban took effect, their populations have been gradually recovering, one of the rare conservation successes of the 20th century. Each summer, they return to Alaska faithful to the waters that nourished their ancestors for millions of years. And each summer, bubble nets erupt on the surface, a reminder that the sea still holds its wonders. If you find these stories from the wild as captivating as we do, share your thoughts in the comments below. Alaskan waters, however, do not belong to humpback whales alone. Beneath those frigid waves, another empire operates, led by the sharpest intelligence in the ocean. And that ruler, not a shark, not a blue whale, is the creature that even the great white shark avoids. On land, the grey wolf rules through its army. Beneath the ocean, another species does the same, but with cunning and precision at an entirely different level. The killer whale, a name that is no exaggeration. Up to 32 feet long, weighing over 12,000 pounds, armed with 40 to 50 conical teeth, sharp as surgical blades, each one 3 inches long. This is the apex predator of every ocean on Earth. Physical power, though, is only half the equation. What makes the killer whale singular among all ocean predators is its brain, one of the largest and most complex in the entire animal kingdom. Orca society is organized along matrilineal lines, the mother's lineage. A matriarch of 60 or 70 years leads the pod, carrying in her memory an ocean atlas of feeding grounds, dangers, and losses. Each pod possesses its own dialect, a system of vocalizations used by no other pod. They call each other by name. They pass hunting techniques across generations. They grieve when a member is lost. This is not instinct. This is culture. In Alaskan waters, 2 types of pods coexist, but rarely communicate, like 2 nations sharing an ocean, but speaking different languages. resident pods, fish eaters, primarily salmon and herring. They travel in large groups, vocal and sociable, their calls loud and frequent. Transient pods, marine mammal hunters, seals, sea lions, even whale calves. They move in silence like phantoms, minimizing sound to avoid detection. The most astonishing technique of transient orcas is wave washing, creating a synchronized wave to sweep seals off ice floes. The pod generates a calibrated surge that washes prey into the water without breaking the ice. This is applied hydrodynamics, a precise manipulation of wave, amplitude and frequency, performed instinctively by creatures that have never set foot in a classroom yet rival any marine engineer. Orca calves are not born knowing this. They must be taught mothers to young, grandmothers to grandchildren. An aging matriarch carries the experience of a lifetime, and that knowledge is the pod's most precious asset. Perhaps the most astonishing truth about killer whales lies in what they choose not to do. Not a single documented case exists of a wild orca attacking a human. Not one across the entire history of humankind living alongside the ocean. The apex predator of every ocean, with the intelligence, strength, and weaponry to kill anything, chooses not to attack humans. The reason remains something science has yet to fully explain. Perhaps they recognize that humans are not familiar prey. Perhaps, and this is a contested hypothesis, they are simply intelligent enough to understand that attacking humans offers no benefit. Whatever the reason, the fact stands in the ocean. The most dangerous killer is also the most restrained. As an orca pod glides through the waters of Kenai fjords, dorsal fins 6 feet tall slicing the surface like black swords, they are a reminder that intelligence, not violence, is evolution's supreme weapon. Two whale species, two entirely different strategies. The humpback commands through coordinated strength and song. The orca commands through intellect and cultural inheritance. Both reign over Alaskan waters, proof the ocean is vast enough for more than one empire. But the battle in Alaska is not confined to the open tundra or the vast ocean. In snow-laden forests where light barely penetrates the canopy, another hunter operates silent, solitary, and so precise it almost never misses. It needs no pack. It needs no superior strength. It needs only one thing: absolute patience. The Canada lynx, the phantom of Alaska's snow forests. A coat of thick silver-gray fur renders it virtually immune to extreme cold. Black tufts crown each ear like antennae tuned to every whisper in the forest. And the paws enormous relative to body size, as wide as a human hand, with thick fur lining the soles. Nature's most perfect snowshoes, allowing the lynx to glide across the surface without sinking an inch. "97% of the Canada lynx's diet is snowshoe hare. 97. A figure that in ecology earns the title dietary specialist, an extreme specialist of the highest order. This means the lynx's fate is inseparably bound to that of the snowshoe hare in a 10-year cycle so precise that ecologists have tracked it for more than a century. When hare populations explode, lynx breed prolifically. When hares decline, and they always decline, lynx go hungry, produce fewer offspring, and their numbers plummet. Then hares recover, lynx recover, and the cycle repeats. "10 years, steady, precise, like the heartbeat of the forest. The lynx hunts through ambush, lying motionless for hours in the snow, yellow eyes scanning the white expanse. It detects hare movement from 250 feet, even through winter camouflage. When the moment arrives, the lynx springs a single explosive leap, covering up to 10 feet, precise and almost entirely silent. The snowshoe hare, despite its own formidable reflexes, rarely has time to react. In Alaska's snow forests, the lynx is living proof that specialization, however risky, can become the optimal strategy for survival. As long as the forest holds hares, the lynx will endure. The lynx, however, is not the only species that must face Alaska's winter through endurance. Across the tundra, stretching to the horizon, another procession is on the move. Thousands of individuals, shoulder to shoulder, pressing northward. The caribou, the only deer species in which both males and females grow antlers, a rare evolutionary trait born from the need to scrape through snow for food, a task both sexes must share to survive. Roughly 2,000 caribou roam the Denali region, migrating seasonally between tundra zones, searching for lichen beneath the deep snow. They are the marathon runners of the Arctic. Wide, flat hooves work like snowshoes on powder and paddles in rivers. A double-layered coat guard hares blocking wind. Inner fur trapping heat transforms each animal into a mobile bunker. But the caribou migration is a march through gray wolf territory. Every step on the open tundra is an invitation to the patrolling pack, and the wolves know exactly when the herds pass through. Female caribou give birth in early spring when snow melts, but grass has not yet emerged. A newborn calf must stand and run within hours of birth, the only time it has before wolves detect it. There is no reward but life itself. Any calf that is slow will not get a second chance. The caribou herd moves like a single living organism, thousands merging into one, forming a gray-brown current flowing across the white tundra. Safety in numbers, diluting risk, making it hard for wolves to select a target. When Arctic winds lash the tundra and temperatures freeze everything in place, caribou press together, sharing body heat, sheltering calves at the center. This is not sentiment, this is the mathematics of survival. And where the tundra meets the sky, where snow-capped peaks rise above a sea of clouds, another pair of eyes watches from above from a height no land creature in Alaska can reach. The bald eagle, the national symbol of the United States, and the uncrowned king of the Alaskan sky. A wingspan of 6 to 7.5 feet, nearly the combined height of 2 adults. When a bald eagle spreads its wings against the Alaskan sky, it looks like a sigil carved into the heavens. But the eagle's most fearsome weapon is not its wings, it is its eyes. Vision 4 to 8 times sharper than a human's. From 1,000 feet, a bald eagle can spot a single fish beneath the surface, distinguishing its flickering shadow among millions of light reflections on the waves. When the target locks, the eagle folds its wings and dives, reaching 75 to 100 miles per hour. Golden talons, 2 inches, curved like fishhooks, clamp onto the fish with up to 400 psi. The entire strike takes less than 2 seconds, from sky to water and back faster than a heartbeat. Bald eagles build nests atop the tallest spruce trees along rivers, structures 10 feet across, over 13 feet deep, weighing thousands of pounds. They return each year, adding material, creating the largest nest of any North American bird. The most remarkable story of the bald eagle, however, is not its hunting prowess or its vision. It is the story of its resurrection. In the 1960s, only about 417 nesting pairs remained across the United States. DDT had thinned their eggshells until eggs shattered under the incubating mother's weight. America's national bird stood on the brink. Then humans acted. DDT was banned, protection laws were passed, breeding programs were launched. The bald eagle came back. From 417 pairs, the population has recovered to over 300,000 individuals today. In 2007, they left the endangered species list, one of the greatest conservation victories in history. In Alaska, home to the nation's largest bald eagle population, they preside over every river, every coastline, every valley. Their piercing calls echo across the snowscape, the sound of a species reborn. Bald eagles mate for life. During the breeding season, they perform a spectacular aerial courtship, locking talons in midair and cartwheeling in free fall before releasing. It is a vow sealed by gravity. Each morning, as mist lifts from the lake, a bald eagle launches from the tallest spruce broad wings spreading wide, white head gleaming in the first light. It climbs until Denali unfolds in panoramic splendor below. From above, it sees everything. Beavers building dams in the valley, black bears raking bark for honey, a wolf pack patrolling the ridgeline, moose wading through icy streams, caribou massing on the tundra, a lynx lying motionless in the snow. And farther still, beneath the dark blue sea, humpback whales surfacing to breathe, bubble nets erupting on the water, and the black fins of orcas slicing the waves like silent swords. All of it, from the sun-scorched savanna of Africa to the frozen reaches of Alaska, is one single story. The story of a war not between the strong and the weak, but between life and the forces that seek to extinguish it. Lions rule the savannah through the pride. Grey wolves hold the tundra through tactics that grant no quarter. Beavers control the streams through architecture. Orcas command the ocean through intellect. Bald eagles master the sky through unmatched vision. Each species wields its own weapon. Each species fights its own war. But all share one thing, a will that never surrenders. Where there is life, there is a ruler. And where there is a ruler, there is a war without end. The bald eagle tilts its wings, catches a thermal, and climbs higher. Below, Denali glows beneath its mantle of snow in the afternoon. Light, silent, majestic, and eternal. That war has raged since long before the first humans set foot on this continent, since before the ice retreated and the rivers carved their present courses, and it will continue long after we are gone. Thank you for joining WildVerse. The natural world still holds countless stories waiting to be told. We will see you on the next adventure. If you have not yet subscribed, now is the perfect time. Every species carries within it a story never before told, and WildVerse will continue bringing those stories to you. This is not a time of peace. This is the hour of the predator. The ground trembles with a faint rhythm, a silent anticipation of what is to come. In the air, tension coils, like an invisible warning. A single breath stirs, and the silence shatters. This task, as always, falls to the lionesses. They are smaller, faster, and a killing machine, operated by a collective intelligence. Each individual is a link in a flawless plan, a symphony of violence and precision. But as the prey falls, the ancient order is re-established. The pride male, who has watched from a distance, now approaches, his roar asserting his authority. He did not join the hunt, but he will be the first to eat. It is the law of the savannah, a law written in power. The feast has only just begun, but it has already attracted unwanted attention. The signal has been received. Spotted hyenas. Led by a dominant female, a matriarch with bone-crushing jaws, this clan are not opportunistic scavengers. They are efficient hunters, ruthless strategists, and they never refuse a fight. One call, and the clan assembles, an army of organized chaos. They are heading straight for the lion's feast. This is the classic confrontation of Kruger, a conflict that has played out for millennia. The sheer power of the lions against the relentless numbers of the hyenas. The scent of blood rises, mingling with the smell of danger and instinct. The air grows thick, filled only with growls and piercing cries. The savannah erupts into a pandemonium of roars, whoops, and the tearing of flesh. This is not a hunt. This is a war of possession. And while the two giants are locked on the ground, the true opportunists make their move from above. High above, the sharpest eyes on the savannah have joined the game. The spiraling gyre of the white-backed vulture is more than mere curiosity. It is a signal, a living beacon lit in the sky. An open invitation to all who can read the language of the heavens. Just 100 vultures can strip a 100-pound antelope clean in only 3 minutes. They are nature's cleanup crew, astonishingly efficient undertakers. In the grand cycle of life and death, not a single scrap of flesh goes to waste. This is South Africa, a realm forged in fire and ice, in drought and flood. Sprawling over 471,000 square miles, this land is a convergence of 8 major ecological regions. A rare confluence, making this nation one of the planet's most critical biodiversity hotspots. From the humid coastal forests, where mist clings like a spider's web, to the arid inland savannas, where life clings to every drop of water. Nearly 20 national parks stand as final fortresses, protecting a priceless natural heritage. Thanks to its dramatic climatic variations, South Africa is home to some 299 mammal species and 858 species of bird. Each species is a testament to extraordinary adaptation, a unique story of survival. But in a land where life has never been easy, every day is a tense struggle for existence. Some hope only to survive until dawn. Others calculate every move to satisfy their hunger. Here, every movement comes at a price. And this place allows for no hesitation. Our journey will take us through the most stark and spectacular landscapes to uncover the incredible survival strategies that have shaped this wild kingdom. We begin our journey in the Karoo, a semi-arid land in the southwest. The name Karoo is derived from an ancient Khoi word meaning land of thirst. Under the searing heat, even a breath is a challenge. The climate here is arid year-round, with extreme temperature swings between day and night, which can differ by as much as 86 degrees Fahrenheit. This is an evolutionary arena, where life is tested to its limits. A place where only the toughest, the cleverest, and the most unusual can survive. And in this crucible, the most extraordinary survival strategies have been born. In an environment of unnerving silence, every species needs a keen survival instinct, and the bat-eared fox is no exception. True to its name, this species possesses enormous ears, about 4 to 5 inches long. But these are more than just cooling fins to radiate heat in the harsh climate. They are a highly sophisticated biological radar system. The fox stands motionless, its head tilted. It is not watching for its prey. It is listening. Listening to an army of millions of termites marching and chewing on roots deep underground. A world of sound that is imperceptible to us. And then, it strikes. With lightning speed, it digs at the precise location of the feast. These foxes form lifelong pair bonds, a strong connection in a volatile world. Together, they share duties, digging burrows and defending their territory from other pairs. They possess a specialized set of teeth, more than most other mammals, not for tearing flesh, but for crushing the hard, chitinous shells of insects. Their ears and tail become a complex language, expressing every mood in their silent world. Not far away, another society relies on vigilance and cooperation to endure. Like a courageous sentinel, the meerkat stands out for its community-based survival strategy. They live in clans of up to 40 members, operating as a cohesive unit, a single extended family. Each individual has a role: sentry, babysitter, forager, and excavator. The guard stands at the highest vantage point, enduring the harsh sun, its eyes fixed on the sky, where the martial eagle, their mortal enemy, may appear at any moment. Their forepaws, with their sharp claws, are constantly at work, allowing them to dig complex tunnel systems underground. These burrows maintain a stable temperature, providing a safe haven from the heat of the day and the cold of the night. According to a 2024 report by the Kalahari Meerkat Project, they are one of the few small mammals to exhibit intentional teaching behavior. Adults bring back scorpions with their stingers disabled for the young to learn how to handle dangerous prey. It is a school for survival, where every lesson is vital. The survival of the entire clan depends on the knowledge passed down. And on the highest rocky outcrops, another resident of the Karoo performs its morning ritual. The rock hyrax. On the surface, it resembles an oversized guinea pig. But few would guess that over millions of years of evolution, this small creature is in fact the closest living relative of the largest land animal on the planet, the elephant. The evidence lies in their teeth and the bone structure of their feet. They live in colonies, huddling together to regulate their body temperature during the cold desert nights. The sunbathing ritual is not just for warmth, but also to aid their complex digestive system, helping them process tough, often toxic vegetation. In every colony, one individual always takes on guard duty, a vital role in this open landscape. Perched atop a boulder, it will emit a piercing alarm call at the first sign of danger, and the entire colony will vanish into rock crevices in an instant. But not all residents of the Karoo are small and community-driven. The black rhinoceros, one of the big five, a survivor from a prehistoric age, a solitary soul. With poor eyesight but an extremely keen sense of smell, it moves with silence and vigilance, a mobile grey mountain. The total population of black rhinos in South Africa at the end of 2023 was only about 2,065, an alarming figure for a species that has existed for millions of years. Each individual holds its own territory, marked with dung and urine, living a life of near total solitude. They meet only for the brief mating season. They can survive for more than 5 days without drinking, obtaining moisture from young shoots and branches, thanks to a flexible upper lip capable of deftly gripping and breaking twigs. Most fascinating is its symbiotic relationship with the red-billed oxpecker. These birds are not just cleaners, picking parasites from the rhino's thick hide. They are also a living alarm system. With far better eyesight, they will emit a shrill warning call when a two-legged predator, man, approaches. Although the birds sometimes pick at wounds to drink blood, a seemingly treacherous act, the benefit of an early warning far outweighs this minor annoyance. In this harsh world, every alliance, however imperfect, is valuable. From the karoo, the terrain gradually rises, opening up to the vast grasslands of the Highveld. This is a sea of grass, stretching to the horizon, where space and freedom reign. Beneath the vast sky, the springbok, the national animal of South Africa, performs its dance of life. Their high, arching leaps, known as pronking, are not just an expression of joy or excess energy. It is a complex visual signal, a multi-layered message. It serves to warn others in the herd of danger, while also demonstrating to predators, I am fit and fast. Do not waste your energy chasing me. At the same time, it is a display to attract a mate. They can reach speeds of up to 55 miles per hour, a wind that skims across the plains. But the springbok are not alone on this grand stage. The black wildebeest, with its forward curving horns and dark coat, forms rivers of life flowing across the grasslands. And alongside them, the plains zebra, nature's artists of camouflage. Their stripes do more than just confuse predators when the herd moves, creating an optical illusion. They are also a unique fingerprint. No two zebras have identical stripes, helping individuals recognize each other within the herd. These two species often travel and graze together, forming a natural defensive alliance, a classic example of interspecies cooperation. The wildebeest have a good sense of smell and hearing, able to detect predators from a distance by scent or sound. Meanwhile, zebras have keener eyesight, capable of spotting the slightest movement on the horizon. This combination creates a nearly perfect early warning system, increasing the chances of survival for both. It is a silent pact, written in the language of instinct and trust. And they need every advantage they can get. Because on this savanna, another force reigns, a force of primal power. The Cape buffalo, a living shield, a formidable member of the Big Five. They live in herds that can number several hundred, forming a mobile fortress of flesh and bone. When threatened by lions, their ancient enemy, the herd unites into a solid mass. The cows and calves, the future of the herd, are safely encircled in the center. The adult bulls, with their massive horns fused at the base to form a nearly impenetrable boss, create a living barrier facing outwards. This collective defense behavior makes them one of the most dangerous prey animals in Africa. They do not run, they confront. Many experienced lions have paid a heavy price for underestimating their unified strength. Further north, where rivers bring eternal life in a land often gripped by drought. The strip of land between the Limpopo and Olifants rivers is a paradise of vegetation, a verdant corridor. And where there is water, there are giants. The African bush elephant, the largest land animal on the planet, yet it possesses a deep and complex soul. The herd is led by a matriarch, usually the oldest and most experienced female. She is the living repository of the family's knowledge, a mobile library. Her memory is not just a recollection, it is a water map passed down through generations, a priceless legacy. She knows exactly where her ancestors dug for water 50 years ago, even when the riverbed is bone dry. A 2024 study showed that these matriarchs lead their families back to crucial waterholes on a 12 to 15-month cycle, a journey guided by memory. When she finds water, she does not just save her family. She becomes the ecosystem's chief engineer, the bringer of life to the entire valley. They communicate using infrasonic calls from 14 to 30 hertz. Sounds too low for the human ear to hear, but which can travel for miles through the air. It is an invisible communication network, connecting elephant families over a vast territory, allowing them to share information about water, food, and threats. But the tranquil surface of the river conceals deadly dangers. The hippopotamus, the semi-aquatic giant, rules the shallows with a cantankerous and unpredictable demeanor. Its bellow is a unique stereo concert. It produces sound simultaneously through its mouth and throat, a dual message warning terrestrial enemies and submerged crocodiles alike of its presence and power. Despite their seemingly placid appearance, they are one of Africa's most dangerous animals, fiercely territorial and responsible for an estimated 500 human fatalities each year. And lurking deeper in the murky water is the river's apex predator, a living relic from the age of dinosaurs. The Nile crocodile. It lies motionless just below the surface, only its eyes and nostrils exposed, a deadly floating log, a master of patience. With a bite force of nearly 5,000 pounds, one of the strongest in the animal kingdom, it is the embodiment of the perfect ambush. It can wait for hours, even days, for a single moment of vulnerability. And when the moment comes, it strikes with terrifying speed, dragging its prey into the water to perform the death roll. It is all over so quickly that the water is still rippling, while the prey has already vanished into the depths of its realm. Its presence is an indicator of a healthy river system, a ruthless but necessary ruler to maintain balance. To the south, along the Indian Ocean coast, the landscape transforms dramatically into dense evergreen forests. This is the garden route, a world of shadows and secrets, where the air is damp and filled with the scent of earth and decaying leaves. Beneath a thick blanket of mist, the bushbuck lives a solitary and silent life. Its coat of stripes and spots is perfect camouflage in the dappled light of the forest. When it senses danger, its first instinct is not to flee. It freezes, lowering its body, and melts into the foliage. It can remain motionless for many minutes. Absolute silence is its greatest weapon, a strategy that has helped it survive among hidden predators. But when night falls, the crown of the forest is passed to a phantom, a silent assassin. The leopard. With its honey-colored coat adorned with unique rosettes, it is a master of concealment, a part of the forest itself. It moves without a sound, its supple body gliding through thickets and climbing branches with ease. After a kill, it performs an extraordinary feat of strength, hauling the carcass, often heavier than its own body, high up into the branches, up to 16 feet off the ground. It is a secure larder, safe from opportunistic scavengers like hyenas or jackals on the ground below. However, the life of this solitary hunter is fraught with tragedy and brutal choices. When a new male wins control of a territory, he often seeks out and kills any cubs that are not his own. A 2024 study in the Sabi Sand Reserve revealed this infanticide accounts for up to 49% of all cub mortality. It is a ruthless strategy, but it brings the female back into estrus more quickly, ensuring the victor's lineage is passed on. In the world of the leopard, Even motherhood must contend with the harshest laws of survival. Our journey concludes at the continent's edge, where two great oceans meet. The Cape Floral Kingdom, a global biodiversity hotspot, home to thousands of plant species found nowhere else on Earth. Here, amid the unique fynbos vegetation and windswept beaches, an unlikely resident has made its life. The African penguin, the only penguin species to breed in Africa. Known for their donkey-like braying, they form lifelong monogamous pairs, a symbol of fidelity. Both male and female share the duties of incubating the eggs and raising the young, taking turns on dangerous foraging trips out to sea. They can dive deep and swim for dozens of miles in search of food for their family. But their world is collapsing, not because of a natural predator, but because of an invisible hand. The scarcity of anchovies and sardines, their primary food source, due to human overfishing, has pushed them to the brink of extinction. Many parent birds must swim farther, for longer, often returning with nothing. Population surveys in 2024 showed the total number of breeding pairs has plummeted to just 9,900, a catastrophic decline from the millions that existed just a century ago. The precipitous decline of nearly 8% per year has placed the species in the critically endangered category. For them, the greatest enemy is not the fur seal or the great white shark. It is an unseen threat from a world beyond their ocean, a competition they cannot possibly win. And that is a harsh reality playing out across this kingdom. The lines between nature and humanity in South Africa are becoming increasingly blurred, and the conflicts are growing more intense. Rhino poaching shows no sign of abating, driven by greed and ignorance. In the first quarter of 2025, 103 individuals were slaughtered, an unacceptable toll. The black market price for rhino horn now reaches $60,000 per kilogram, a price paid in blood and the survival of an ancient species. Wildfires, exacerbated by climate change, are increasing in both frequency and intensity. On the Cape Peninsula alone, in January of 2024, over 62,000 acres of precious fynbos, a World Heritage, were consumed by flames. The boom in ecotourism, while providing needed revenue for conservation, also creates new pressures. Soil erosion, fragmentation of wildlife corridors, and litter are altering the behavior of wild animals, turning them into dependents or creating conflict. These numbers reveal an undeniable truth. We are reshaping this kingdom, often in devastating ways. But the fight is not over. Amidst the shadows, there are flames of hope. Facing these pressures, conservation organizations, scientists, and the government are fighting back with courage and innovation. Elite anti-poaching units are risking their lives every day. Modern surveillance technology, from drones to infrared cameras and satellite data analysis, is being deployed to protect vast areas. In June of 2025, South Africa joined the CITES Rhino Task Force program, strengthening cross-border cooperation to combat international criminal networks. Ecotourism operators are adopting more sustainable models, regulating visitor numbers, and using a portion of their profits to fund community and conservation projects. Education is becoming the most powerful weapon, planting a love for nature in the next generation, who will inherit this kingdom. South Africa is a grand stage, where stories of life, death, tragedy, and triumph are written every day. From the bloody confrontations on the savannah to the silent alliances in the desert, from the ancient memory of the elephant to the fragile future of the penguin. Every creature we have met is fighting its own battle, a war shaped by millions of years of evolution. But now, they all face a common trial, a challenge created by a single species. In this great tapestry of creation, their fate is now more intertwined with ours than ever before. And the future of this magnificent yet fragile wild kingdom ultimately depends on the choices we make today.